Hello, students. Good morning. I welcome you all to your English class, and this is your English teacher, Miss Gunjan Bagga. Okay, so the chapter what we have picked for today is from your literature reader book, chapter number 3, The Little Girl by Catherine Mansfield. Let's know a little about the writer, Catherine Mansfield. Catherine Mansfield was a prominent short story writer from New Zealand. Her notable works are The Garden Party, Miss Brill, The Doll's House. These are her famous works. And the chapter what we have, we are going to read, that is The Little Girl. That is also among one of the notable works of her. This writer, Catherine Mansfield, had much influence on the development of the short story as a form of literature. Okay, let's see the story, The Little Girl. This story is The Little Girl is about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding. That will probably find an echo in every home. Okay, what happens is children are very very fond of their mother, but when it comes to their father, most of the children fear their father. So same here is the case of this little girl who really has a fear for her father, and as and when story goes, she realizes that how loving her father actually is. Okay, so let's start. Sorry, let's start with the chapter. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. Okay, so see here, he was a figure to be feared. Who is he here? Here is father. Okay, the girl was always fearful of her father. Every morning the same routine would be followed. Father would come, kiss the girl, and she would say goodbye to her father. And then see here, there was a glad sense of relief. Glad sense of relief means she would feel really happy when she would see what? The carriage which would carry her father. Okay, the carriage in which her father would go. She would really feel a sense of relief after knowing that yes, father is finally gone. That fearful she was of her father. Now see here, in the evening, same routine we are talking about. In the evening, when the father came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Every morning the same routine would be followed. In the evening, when father would come, he would come and say, "Bring my tea to the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if paper is out there and bring me my slippers." All these things. He would just come in the evening and would throw orders. This little girl Kezia would think that father is simply throwing what? The orders. Here mother is mother of father. It means Kezia's grandmother. See here, Kezia mother would call to her. Now Kezia's mother would call her, "If you're a good girl, you can come down, take off father's boot." Now slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, and more slowly still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. By that time he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. See here, mother would ask Kezia that if she's a good girl, she should help her father take his boots out. She would help her father in taking the boots out, and father would look at the girl. The way he would look at the girl would terrify the girl, would scare the girl. Actually, father would always look normally, but there was something that this girl was very fearful of. See here, when what father would say to girl, "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" Don't know father. I don't know father. You don't know? If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. See here, I don't know, you don't know. The girl, was so much scared of her father that she was not even able to speak properly in front of him. Whenever she would come in front of him, she would simply, stutter like that. And father again would shout at her that if she would stutter like that, then she would be taken to doctor. Okay, see here. She never stuttered with other people. It was only Kezia's father that she would, feel fearful. Otherwise, she never stuttered in front of any person, had quite given it up. but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. What is the matter? What are you looking so wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Now, here, father would shout at his mother. His mother means Kezia's grandmother. He would say to Kezia's grandmother that he doesn't know what is the problem with this girl, why she appears so fearful always, why she appears that she is at the brink of suicide. Brink of suicide means anytime she would give up on her life. You know that she has no enthusiasm left for her life. And again, he would give the orders like Kezia, carry the teacup. And now see here. He was so big. His hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. This was what? This is what is Kezia's explanation, Kezia's description of her father. Kezia always thought that her father was like a giant. Actually, she never liked her father. There were reasons also. We'll find what reasons. See here, on Sunday afternoons, everyday routine, like the girl is sharing, the writer is sharing, that what used to happen on Sunday afternoons. Grandmom would always send her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But this girl always found, see here, but this girl always found mother reading something and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, see here, and sleeping soundly and snoring. The little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on sofa. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. Okay, so grandmother would always push Kezia towards father and mother. She would always encourage her to go to father and mother. She would always encourage her to spend time with her father and mother, so that she can share anything, whatever she wants. But she was always like resistant of going towards her father and mother. But when she would come down, she would always find her mother reading paper and father doing what? Taking a nap. And she would simply sit, wouldn't utter a word. She would simply sit and would look at her father. And whenever father would look at Kezia staring at her badly, what she would say, see here, this line is very important. Don't stare so, Kezia, you look like a little brown owl. Okay, so this is quite funny that father would give name to Kezia. He would say every time Kezia would stare at father, he would say that she looks like a little brown owl. Okay, check here. One day, when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pincushion for a gift out on a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Okay, grandmother would always try something that would make Kezia, that would take Kezia closer to her father. So this time she encouraged her to what? Make a pin cushion as a gift for her father's birthday. She said that she has a beautiful piece of yellow silk and that she can use to make a pin cushion for father. Now let's see whether Kezia did that or not. See here. Laboriously, what do you mean by laboriously? Laboriously means with hard work, with much efforts. With a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides, 1, 2 and 3 sides of that pin cushion she stitched. But now point is, why did not she stitch the 4th side? Obviously, because that was empty. Something has to be stuffed inside it. So now she here thinks, but what to fill it with? What to stuff the cushion with? That was the question. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scrapes. Scrapes means any rough pieces, anything rough, anything scrape that she can fill in the cushion. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case and then sewed up the 4th side. So when she went in mother's room, what did she find? She finds what? Fine paper sheets. She finds sheets of fine paper. She tears all the paper. She tears all the paper into the tiny pieces and stuff her pin cushion. That night, check here, there was a hue and cry in the house. What do you mean by hue and cry? There was a much shouting and screaming in the house. There was something, something. Kezia could understand that there was something going on inside the house because everybody was screaming and shouting. Now, why? Let's see here. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. So why was shouting, hue and cry in the house? There was hue and cry in the house because father had to give one speech, and give one speech the next day or maybe some days after, and for that he was preparing. The speech was written in papers, and the speech was for the Port Authority. That was actually lost. Everybody was asked, where is the speech, where are the papers, but nobody knew. So finally mother came to Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room? Oh, yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. Here is the twist in the story. Already Kezia is scared of her father, very much scared, and now what she has done a blunder here. She has torn all the papers on which there was a speech, what her father had to give. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. Now let's see what happens when father discovers what Kezia has done. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro. Pacing to and fro means walking from back and forth, hands behind his back. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained everything. Mother explained everything, that what Kezia did with the papers and why actually she did it. But still, let's see father. What he did. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? Nana, no, she whispered. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that child's put to bed this instant. Fetch down the damn thing. What is this damn thing here? The damn thing is that pillow. The cushion, sorry, not pillow, the pin cushion actually, what she has sewn. Crying, too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Actually, the line means what? That she was locked inside the room. She was not allowed to come outside the room. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hand. See here. Kezia was already very much scared, and Kezia was really feeling guilty on what she had done, and she didn't know what father's reaction would be. But what happens here? We see father comes with what? Father comes with a ruler in the hand. Ruler means a scale in the hand. And what he says, I'm going to beat you for this. Oh no, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. And you must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. Now see here. What father says, that why am I going to beat you? See here, this is very important line, children. This line you have to learn. This line you have to actually make note of. He says, I'm beating you because you must be taught once. You must be given lesson once that you are not allowed to what? Touch the things that doesn't belong to you. If you are not beaten up, if you are not given lesson, you will do the same mistake again. But it was your birthday. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. On her little pink palms, she was given a nice beating. Now see here, hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. The child here hugged her grandmother and said, what did God make fathers for? She sobbed. She cried. She cries and asks, why the good Lord has made fathers? Why has he made fathers for? For beatings, for insulting, for embarrassing? Sorry. Now let's see what her grandmother explains. Grandmother explains, here is a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. Okay, so what grandmother says, simply go, and the next morning when you will get up, you will forget about all this beating and scolding. But see here, the child never forgot. It was in Kezia's heart. It was stamped in Kezia's heart that how her father beat her up badly. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. Whenever she would see her father from the next time onward, she would feel what? Little shame, guilt, and she would, out of fear, she would put her hands where? Behind her back. Excuse me. See here. Can you see this picture, children? See, this is Kezia. Kezia, and this is not Kezia's father. This is Kezia's neighbor, Mr. McDonald's, and these are his children. See here. The McDonalds lived next door. McDonald's means Mr. McDonald. This. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, can you see this? See this. The little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders. 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets ran around and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Then it was she decided there were different sort of fathers. Kezia never had or never got to experience this beautiful time, loving time with her own father. So she said she never knew actually how fathers, how loving fathers are. But whenever she would look outside the fence, she would find Mr. McDonald playing with his children very lovingly. She would see little child sitting on the shoulder, the girls are hanging around, the boy, turning on the hose. Hose means the water pipe, and father would not shout at them any time for any of the mischief this little kids are doing. She would see that how father is enjoying with all his children, and then she decided that there are different kind of fathers. Her father is different than Mr. McDonald. See here. Now here comes a turn in the story. Suddenly one day mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to hospital. Kezia's mother she became ill and she had to go to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. That was all right, excuse me, in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. Now, Alice had to go back home. She could not spend the night at Kezia's place. She was there the whole daytime. But now when it was time for Alice to go, Kezia really became scared and said, "What I'll do if I have a nightmare?" she asked. "I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery." Whispery means sound, little sounds. She hears the sounds, as if somebody's, speaking in her room. She feels that, whenever she gets nightmares, she cannot spend time in the dark. She cannot live in the dark because, she feels like there is people talking around him. So, what Alice says? She says, "You just go to sleep, child," pulling off her socks, "and don't you scream and wake your poor pa." Okay? She warns her that even if she is feeling scared, she should not shout, she should not scream and wake her father up. But the same old nightmare came. See here. When Alice went home, what happened? When Alice went home, Kezia had the bad nightmare, same nightmare. And the butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma." She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. "What is the matter?" the father said. See here. Kezia was screaming in her dreams. She was having a nightmare and she was really screaming. What did she had nightmare of? Same nightmare which she would always get. A butcher with a knife and a rope who is following her, chasing her. And she would cry out. She cried out loud, "Grandma and Grandma." And what did she find? She finds her father standing beside her. "Oh, a butcher, a knife. I want Grandma." He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. See here, Kezia, who was so afraid of her father. What did father do actually? Father took her up in his arms and takes her into his bedroom, and then he makes the child sleep next to him. And here child is still scared of what? That butcher's smile, what she had nightmare of. She creeps closely to her father. She snuggles her head under, as if hugging her father, and she very tightly holds her father. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. As she went close to her father, she felt that she is now no more scared of what? Dark. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. What did father say? That rub your feet against my legs. Now father is what here? Very much what kind of you say behavior he is showing here? He is very much affectionate here. He is very much loving and caring, you say. The care and concern what he is showing for Kezia, that she has never experienced before in her life. See here, tired out, he slept before the little girl. The little girl is still there, lying next to her father. But before Kezia slept, who slept? Father slept. A funny feeling came over her. Now, funny feeling. What funny thing she is thinking here? Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. Now, Kezia is feeling what? A soft corner for her father. She says, poor father. She always called his father like a giant, but he's after all not that giant, and nobody is there to take care of her father. He was harder than grandmother, but it was nice hardness. Kezia had always hugged her grandmother, never her father, and now she is getting a new experience here. And every day he had to work and was tired to be a Mr. MacDonald. Now she is explaining to herself, see, the father works, her father works so hard, and she is like, now thinking hard in her mind that her father works so hard, and he cannot be like what? Mr. MacDonald's all day along, because he has to work really hard. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. Now she here feeling bad. She here is feeling really bad that how she has torn up all his beautiful speech. Now when she stirred means moved. Now what's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Oh, said the little girl. My head is on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. In the end, Kezia, what she realizes that father is not a giant. Her father is not a giant, but what he has a big heart. Now she has realized that how hard her father actually works, how hardworking he is, how much he is doing for family. And what Kezia has done, she has hurt her by tearing up all his beautiful writing. And now she is realizing that this is actually her father's nature only, that he is little serious by nature, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't love her. Unnecessarily all these years she had been like scared of her father, right? So this is what the beauty here is. See, parents love children is parents love. Every time, each time parents cannot come and say I love you to their children. But we should realize, we should understand that whatever parents are doing, they are doing for our own sake. They are doing for our betterment. And Kezia also realizes the same in the end. See here the chapter's questions. We have children 4 short answers and 2 long answers. This you have to do in your fair copy in the beehive section only. See here, why was Kezia afraid of her father? Who were the people in Kezia's family? What was Kezia's father's routine before going to office, after coming back to office, and on Sundays? These 3 points, you have to write it in 3 points. In what ways did Kezia's grandmother encourage her to get to know her father better? So first time, 2 instances you have to write, that she would encourage her to go and talk to them on Sundays. She would she urged Kezia to make pin cushion, for her father's birthday. And like that, the points what you can pick from the chapter that you can write. See here, long answer. Kezia's efforts to please her father resulted in displeasing him very much. How did this happen? So all that pincushion incident you have to write, that she did all that to please her father, to make him happy, but what eventually happened, it displeased him even more. Okay, so that incident you have to explain here. Kezia decides that there are different kinds of father. What kind of father was Mr. MacDonald, and how was he different from Kezia's father? Okay, so how happy and happening and kind of cool father Mr. MacDonald was, and how serious by nature Kezia's father was. But ultimately, you say father's love is father's love. Doesn't matter if one is fun loving and outgoing and one is serious, they always have a love for their children. So this is what you have to explain here. Okay, this is it for today. I would come next week with the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.